Welcome back, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Banter Boys. Today we have a special guest with us, Drew Johnson. We have Ryan Birchfield with us and Jacob Zeck. We're going to discuss the Everton outlook, personal for me. We're going to discuss Liverpool's comeback, given we have two and a half Liverpool fans on this podcast. And we're going to discuss West Ham as a new dark horse in the Premier League. But as we always do, let's get started with our winners and losers. We'll start all the way up in England. Birchie, winners and losers.
My winner is easy for me this week. I'm sure the other boys will agree. Darwin Núñez. He needed that for his self-confidence. To be fair, though, I wasn't actually going to say Darwin for the longest time. I had Jackson as number one to start with, gotten his first goal at Chelsea. I think that was huge for him. I think that's going to kickstart his season. Then it was going to be Raheem Sterling because he has been a beast, not just last week, the week before as well, and the week before that. But then Darwin coming on scoring too for the boys was huge for him. Makes me feel a lot better if Salah does go to Saudi now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Losers?
And loser, I had Brighton just because of a loss like that. Tough weekend for them, but it's going to happen. It's the Premier League, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead next. My winner for the week, you already mentioned his name, is Raheem Sterling. The man has looked pacey, looks powerful the past couple of weeks, and to have a goal and an assist in a game like that. I know it was Luton Town, so let's not get our hopes up on Chelsea. So, yeah, it's Luton Town,
Yeah.
But the fact that he's been able to do it regardless of who they're playing, he looks sharp. And then my loser for the week is Newcastle. I know Liverpool won, but in no shape or form should you be up 1-0 with 10 men playing for a majority of 80 minutes of the game, if not more, and you lose that game. It's just unacceptable at any level. And for someone who has them, some of you guys have them competing for second, Zek, and top four, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
So that's my winner and loser.
I know this isn't part of the agenda, but I wanted to ask real quick: Was it a red card? Was it a red card? And do you agree with the 4-match ban that he might be seeing, given his reaction to the red card?
Birchie, given the way VAR has gone recently, what is a red card and what's not a red card nowadays? Personally, the part of me, I know I don't really support Liverpool like that, but part of me sees that it really wasn't a red card. But I don't think a 4-match ban, just because the emotion the player was having, the controversy around it, I don't think it's a 4-match ban. I'll give you that, but today I'm gonna say it's a red card.
Yeah, I think I have to agree.
Yeah,
I'm going right off the top. Newcastle, again, mentally weak. That's all it comes down to is mentally weak, and it sucks because I put them high up, right? But again, they just look mentally weak, and I got to shout out to my brother Matt, because Matt, that was atrocious, and Liverpool are literally in Newcastle's head rent free. So loser of the week by far is Newcastle. I think we talked about the depth being an issue, and I think we're starting to see that a little bit. So maybe we might see a little turn on the table for Newcastle. Winner of the week, Liverpool. I think we've had a tough start to the Prem. I think a lot of speculation with Salah. It's just kind of all up in the air. We didn't really bring in too many midfielders, so on and so forth. But to go ahead and scrap away a win like that at St. James's Park, 2-1, Darwin, winner of the week, Liverpool. Liverpool look good. Salah, I don't know. We'll take the bread if we have to take the bread, but
do you think he's staying? Do you think he's staying or going to leave?
I don't know. It made it sound like that he is not for sale, but it still kind of seems like
he's posting pictures of himself as well all the time.
Today in London, what's he doing? He said, I'm in London on my day off. He's posting pictures in a museum. I want to see him in Liverpool. You know what I mean? Getting some treatment. I don't know. I don't like it.
All right. Before we go to our next winner and loser, Drew Johnson, you want to introduce yourself and then give us your takes?
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be here. Part of the Banter Boys for the first time. Appreciate the invitation. But yeah, Drew Johnson. Went to high school with men like Benny. Won state championships.
Yes, sir.
Won trophies. Made my way to junior college to eventually make it to play Division I soccer at South Carolina. Actually played Lipscomb during our careers there, and came out victorious. So that was definitely one of the highlights of a short career for me. Unfortunately, now working. So
All right, let's get to it then. Winner or loser?
winners, obviously, you know what it is, man. That's Class by Darwin. But honestly, I got to give it to Joe Gomez. Man's coming off the bench, hasn't seen much time this year, and he put in an absolute shift in the back, man. So I got to give it to Joe.
He did.
He's been, struggling for minutes. Obviously, I think he's probably the fourth string behind Kanate and Matip. So for him to come on, he may be up there. And then losers, obviously Everton, still 0-3. Bottom of the Prem right now. So it's not looking good for them.
Well, that's a perfect transition, Drew. That brings us into our next topic, right, Benny? I don't even know where to start, quite honestly. I will say this. I'll lead it off with this. I still think Everton will stay up. I had a quick look at your team, your roster, the injuries you have Jack Harrison still yet to play. I think he's key. You did just make a new signing, which definitely helps. I don't know much about the guy other than I Googled him and he scored 10 goals last year in the Serie A. I don't think that means much. I think that anyone can almost do that in Serie A, but
Really?
coming to the Prem to score only 10 goals in Serie A in a potentially way harder league, how does that make you feel?
I'd say 10 goals in Serie A would equate to 3 to 5 goals in the Prem. So if you're good with getting 3 to 5 goals out of $30 million signing when you guys don't have that type of money, you guys are literally like struggling.
Well,
I hope.
Well, first of all, I want to applaud our finance team because the way we structured the deal, all we have to pay this year is $5 million. Money isn't really due up until next year, so it's good financial structuring around this deal. And my outlook is still positive on the club. I'm you know what, cold in here, my toffee right there. But no, I sent you guys a figure before the podcast. I'm gonna look at my sheet right here. We have 45 shots total, 18 shots on target through 3 games, and our shot accuracy is 41.9% with 2 goals disallowed and questionable 2 goals disallowed. So the problem isn't we're not creating. We're creating enough chances. We're creating good opportunities, and we've been missing, like I said in the first podcast ever of Banter Boys, if we had a capable striker, then things will be different. We haven't found one. It's unfortunate. Calvert-Lewin comes in first 20 minutes, tries to do a little bit too much, but I can't blame him for that. Gets a facial reconstruction, gets a concussion, he's out. And Neil Mope, we know what he is. He hasn't scored really any goals for us, so he needs to be shipped off. But the fact that we signed this kid from Serie A, Beto, the man is 6'4". In the Premier League, you got to be big. He reminds me a little bit of Calvert-Wilson from Newcastle. He's just a big body who's going to go battle up against the biggest and scrapping some goals. And then we also have Dan Juma. So if we go to a 4-4-2, which Sean Dyche likes to play, that's type of manager he is. He's not really a type of Pep Guardiola or any special inverted fullbacks. We just get the ball up, score some goals, bang it in, play 2 up top. I think we'll be straight.
Who are you 2 up top?
I think we'll play Beto, the one we have, and then Dan Juma under him, So we'll have a Fargan and then one under him supporting. If not, then we'll have Calvert-Lewin, and then Dan Juma supporting. I think Dan Juma's been flashy. He hasn't put any shots on target, but I don't think it's that bad.
Hold on. Dan Juma, we're talking about the shot. I think it was offside, right? But even that, right, for the confidence, Everton, even if it was an offside goal, that might give Everton the confidence. But again, to be honest with you, Beto, again, I don't really know too much about the guy. You know how much I love FIFA. I've never played with that guy before. I've never even heard of him before. So I really hope he comes in and does wonders for Everton. But again, Everton look like they're in shambles. I'll be honest with you. I keep using the word shambles. I used it last week for Chelsea. This week I'm going to use it for Everton. Like, I don't know. Like, you guys just look like you're struggling, and you can see it. Would you agree with that? Like, does it look like the team is struggling, or does the team look like they have their head on straight?
That's a team that's struggling for sure. I think you have to look at what was it, the West Ham or Villa game. I think it was Villa 4-0 or something, right? Defensively, Michael Keane, there's reasons for him to be on the bench now forever and ever. Whether you got Tarkovsky and Branthwaite or something. I heard Branthwaite might even be leaving. I don't know if you saw in that rumor. Man United want to sign him. That can't be good for you guys, but hopefully he stays because he's pretty young and he seems. If Man United want him, I'm sure he's probably talented for sure. So keep hold of him. But
Ashley Young as well, man. Like going back to that game, what's he doing? A player of bad experience with that. I mean, it's
questionable.
I agree with Zach. I think the club is in shambles. I think if you guys don't win the next 2 games or at least get a result, there's got to be changes.
All right, let me speak, okay? There's a reason we're in this position, you know. The reason we're in our financial struggles, there's reasons for it, you know. And I got to credit Anthony Bellini. I should have had him on the podcast today. We were talking about it. There was a moment a couple weeks ago where I was just down bad in the gut, like about my club, trying to support them. But if we go back to Farshad Moshiri, who's took over Everton in 2016, and it's unfortunate, that's right when I became a fan, you know. Became a fan in 2016. I don't know I wasn't a fan during the good days, you know. I've only experienced trouble and heartache, you know. That's all I have to remember, you know. But it's the stadium, bro. Why are we building a stadium worth almost $1 billion when there is nothing wrong with the stadium we have? We are pulling out loans on loans on loans and debt to finance this stadium when we'll be playing the championship, and this will put a financial struggle on the club if we get relegated, which we won't. But if we get relegated, we'll have to sell a bunch of the players we have. The workers, the town is going to go to a gutter. It means a lot, and we're trying to finance this stadium. People who want to take over the club and sell it, we're not. They see the books, they see all of that, and they're like, I will never take this investment. You know, they're trying to sell the club for $500 million, and Everton is worth way more than that. But that being said, I think there is a way out, and it's getting bodies in the door, which we're doing right now. With Chermiti, the dude from Portugal that we got, he got his few minutes. He didn't look bad, you know, first game in the Prem. Dan Juma, Beto, Jack Harrison. When Calvert-Lewin gets healthy, Dwight McNeil gets healthy, Alex Iwobi gets healthy. We're not a bad club.
Tamari Gray.
He'll probably go to Saudi. We can get him. We can get rid of him. That's fine. I wish he would stay. I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
We're not a bad club, and all I've said is we need goal scorers, and that's been our problem. It's been our problem. But that being said, I think we get points this weekend, and I think we turn it around. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, hey, we'd be happy with y'all building us a stadium. So you know what I mean. So
we play Sheffield this week. We play Sheffield this weekend. You guys don't think we'll beat Sheffield?
No, you're not getting points against them, mate. I wanted to ask a question. Honestly, at the end of the season, how many games do you think Everton is going to win?
I think we finish around between 13th and 9th.
Really?
Yeah, I think we finish between 13th and 9th. I do.
Wow.
The problem isn't
No. Hold on. Mate, you're in last place right now. You haven't scored a single goal, and you think you're gonna get between 13th and 9th place. I know. Hey, listen, I get it. I see the scarf, mate. I understand your struggles, but let's not think so much with the emotions, okay?
Hold on, let me stop you
there. No.
There's a difference. No. There's a difference. There's a difference between you and I. I have support for my club. Yeah, for 7 years straight. You might not have that same respect for your club or clubs because you supported 3 or 4 in the same time span, but that I have for my club. I know my club will stay in the Premier League, and I know these L's will start turning to draws and W's.
I hope so. I
know so.
But wait, question. You're talking about my loyalty. Do you want to take a step back to last year? Was there any speculation about you maybe potentially picking another team? Let's just put it on the air because we're all honest here, right? It's a Banter Boys podcast at the end of the day. And so I want you to sit here in front of our whole entire audience and be honest and say, were you were you thinking about maybe switching and picking another team if you were to get relegated to the championship? Yes or no?
Yes, I was.
The Sky Sports membership, it's out of budget.
No, that's why I said. Let me be honest to the Banter Boys community. I said if Everton gets relegated, I said for the past few seasons, I would support them for 1 year in the championship, and then after that, it gets financially tough. You know, you got to pay that $7.99 a month for Sky Sports.
Championship football is lively, man. The promotion, honestly, I don't watch championship football. I don't think any of us do, but I think the promotion system is quality.
It is quality, but I said for 1 year, and after 1 year, that my thought is it's hard for a team to go down and get back up. That best chance to get back up is that next year, and we've seen it with teams who go down, they stay in there like Sunderland. You know, I don't want to be a Sunderland story. They go down, they get relegated from the championship, go down to League Two. It's hard to get back up. Birchie, you know it. Ipswich Town, you know.
I was about to offer you, Benny. We have a place to stay here if you want to come watch Everton next year as well. So don't worry, we can watch them.
No, we're okay. Let me get back. Is that your question? Yes, I said I would support him for a year, and then I would switch a club. I'll be honest. I did say that.
I know.
But the thing is, I honestly think we're going to finish between 13th and 9th. I know there's a lot of points in between there, but I think if these players, these strikers that we've needed come and we'll score the goals. We've all played football. We know it's not easy on the defense if there's no goal scorers. We know that.
You're willing to put bread on
Go ahead.
You're willing to put bread on that 13th and through 9th?
Yeah, I'd like to see some of that too.
No, not right now. No. I'll put bread with stay up though.
See, I agree. I agree with you. Between 13th and 17th, though, that's where I think you guys sit.
So you think we're on the cusp of a relegation fight again?
Yeah, I think it comes down. You'll have 2 or 3 weeks before the end of the season to know if you're getting relegated or not, or if you're in the battle for sure.
All right, can I fast forward to this weekend at Sheffield? Do you think we win the game or lose the game?
I think you win.
Drew?
It's at Sheffield?
Let me check on that.
I don't know, man. They gave Man City.
That doesn't make a difference, bro. What are you talking about?
They gave Man City a close game. Haaland had to work for that dub, and
it took him a while.
I don't see Anjuma doing much if Haaland's struggling against Sheffield's center backs.
It's at Bramall Lane. It's away.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
2-0 L Sheffield.
I'll give y'all a draw. I think it's a 0-0 game.
I'll be optimistic and say you sneak away a 1-0.
I'm so confident I'll add Sheffield to my parlay this weekend. You can watch it and talk about it next week.
Are you saying that's a lock?
Yeah, guaranteed. They're probably minus 450 or 500 to be honest with you. Home as well.
All I gotta say,
I'd like to see the odds. What do the odds look like?
It's early, boys. It's early. It's still August. Like, can we calm down? Like, it's not time to talk about relegation yet. All right. So I'm hopeful. We got signings. Let's see what they can do. We'll have this conversation again in December, and we'll see where we are. And I'm honest.
For sure.
You know? All right, that's enough of Everton. Up the Toffees, yeah. Let's talk about Liverpool, the other side of the park. Yeah, I respect the comeback. I respect the way y'all did y'all's thing, and I'll let y'all dive into it and analyze the performance.
Performance-wise, not very good. I have to say that. I say we're nowhere near our best. I think our midfield is struggling still a little bit. We're open at times. McAllister's been great, but he's been getting booked a lot, making rash tackles. But that's because he's having to cover for somebody else. Endo, I see him first game. I don't know what to make of him just yet. It's a little early for him. You got to give him a little bit of chance in the Prem, I guess. But performance-wise, still not great for us. But, hey, good teams get results when they play bad, right? That's a good omen for the rest of the season, I think.
Yep. I think mentally, when you talk about Liverpool, right, I feel like they are a very strong team. And I think, again, last couple of years, like last year going into this year, it's been tough. But, again, I think that's just like the old Liverpool spirit, getting the job done at all costs. And especially with the red card, and you're talking about your captain, Virgil, being able to come in after that and get it done, and Darwin not being able to start, not playing the way that he's supposed to be playing, to come and get those 2 goals, I think that fires up the whole team. I think it'll be a good stint for hopefully next couple months, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Eddie Howe was just simply outcoached by Klopp to switch to a 4-4-1, putting Joe Gomez. I wasn't happy with him taking off Luis Diaz. I felt for him because he would have definitely scored that game 100%. He was in Trippier's pocket the whole first 15 minutes. But yeah, I think it's just Eddie Howe got outcoached, and he gave Darwin Núñez credit. But I think a great save by Allison. If Almiron would have scored that volley, I don't think we win that game. I mean, I think Newcastle played first half better, second half not so good. But if Almiron scores that goal, there's no shot we win that game, and that's just class by Allison Becker.
Why is it though? Like not just Newcastle struggled, but I've seen multiple Premier League teams, even back in our playing days. Why is it kind of harder to play against a team playing a man down? Like, do y'all feel like that's a theme, or like?
I just think everyone parks the bus a little bit. The big saying of park the bus. I think Liverpool went into defensive shape. They're very tight, very hard to break down. I don't know why more teams don't figure that with 11 players on the field.
Yeah.
Defend the same way you would with 11. Just with 10 men instead. I don't know. That's a great question, though. It looked like most teams were going to a counter-attack mode. Liverpool kind of did that. And then, like I say, Darwin came out on top. Do you think we start Darwin this week, given that as well?
For sure.
He's got to start, man. He's got to start for sure. I think Gakpo's on the bench.
Yeah.
I seen a stat come across, I think ESPN FC today, that Darwin Núñez and Luis Suarez have the same amount of goals and the same amount of appearances, like 17 goals on all comps in 45 games as Luis Suarez. I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying I was a man last year who said that man's not it.
Yeah.
I might have to start taking that back a little bit. You know, he's showing some heart.
I think it's been tough, right? Like you bring in Holland and you bring in Darwin in the same transfer window. And I do think there is that pressure for sure. And I do think as well, like in terms of Darwin being from Uruguay as well, I think there is that added pressure. And I think it took him a little bit longer to acclimate than we would have wanted him to. But again, I think like he is super powerful. He works hard for the team. He knows how to run. He knows how to make the right runs. Sometimes he can do a little bit too much, but I think he's starting to understand a little bit more. Because I remember last year there'd be times where Salah would just be chirping at him. Yeah. And I remember one time it was like a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1. He tried to go solo instead of passing it. So I think it just is taking him a little bit longer, but I do really think he's going to be a huge component to Liverpool, and I think a lot bigger than Liverpool fans thought he would be, to be honest with you, just because of the rocky start he had last year.
Well, you think the added pressure is like comparing him to Luis Suarez?
No, I think he thinks about it, definitely, like him being from Uruguay as well. I think it's definitely in the back of his mind along the side of, coming in with Holland and Holland having the year that he had. I definitely think it's something he thinks about for sure. It's not like he can't just like take that out and not think about it.
Yeah.
His price tag along too with that too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for him.
Yeah.
You know what happens when money gets tied to players,
Isn't that right, Jono?
Not here, but we all know.
Yeah. But we talked about Gakpo a minute ago. He's been highly disappointing for me. I loved the guy last year. I thought at the start of this season, one of my predictions was that Gakpo was going to be our guy, but he is not that man right now. I feel like he's absent. He's playing. He's just kind of in a gray area of kind of in between phases. I don't know if he's not adapted to the Premier League yet. I don't know what his problem is, but I think that he just needs to kind of step up a little bit.
I got to bring this point up. The system that we were playing before bringing in Endo, he was playing as a dual 8 with McAllister, and then for him now to start at forward, like again, we all played. That is kind of confusing. Like the whole time he's been playing as an 8, and then Klopp's like, all right, we want you to play 9. It's hard. It's kind of hard to switch that up and be like, okay, my responsibilities as an 8 are completely different as a 9. I think that kind of messes him up. But I agree with you. Like I do think he is a lot better than he's playing right now for sure.
I think our Trojan horse is he's coming back from injury. Birchie, you know him, the man like Stefan Bajcetic. Man, I thought he was class last year. When Thiago got injured, he's 18, he's young.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to start seeing him come back, I think, into the mix. If Endo doesn't perform, he'll get minutes. Harvey Elliott is going to ramp up. You know, he's also coming off the bench. Curtis Jones, we've got depth, and I think we're going to fight for the title this year.
Fight for the title.
Yeah,
I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Considering the way we've played, right? We've only dropped 2 points in a draw. That's it. But we've played horribly. Yeah. If we're playing the way we are and we're still getting points and we're still up there, we're only 2 points behind City or whatever it is now, I think we're fine. We're right in it.
I think the injury of Kevin De Bruyne could hurt City. Kovacic can't fill that role. And I mean,
I still think City is going to win. One thing though, I think Arsenal, they're looking shaky. And again, I was watching Arsenal fan TV a little bit. I'll be honest with you, because you know how it is when they lose. That's when it's like the best. And they played Thomas Partey at right back with no striker. They had both their strikers on the bench. Havertz, again, we'll chirp at Havertz. He's having a nightmare. I really do think Liverpool is going to come in and it's going to be a competition between Liverpool and Man City.
Y'all brought up a whole other topic I wasn't getting into, but yeah, I think it'll be close. I don't know if you're fighting. It may be within. I think City wins the league by 8 points. I really do. I don't think it's gonna be any closer than that. I really do. But Arsenal is another question. They drew against Fulham on the weekend. I think Arteta's trying to do too much. You know, I think he's trying to be too much like Pep. You know, he had a good season last year. Now he's just trying to change up a little bit too much. Trying to play the inverted fullback, kind of like Stones is coming into the midfield. I think he wants Partey to come into the midfield. I don't think that really suits Partey, and I think he's trying to force Kai Havertz in there.
Yeah,
I think he's just doing way too much right now. He needs to go back to the basic football he did last year. Keep Martinelli out there, play Jesus. If Jesus is not doing it, then Ketia. I think you sit Havertz for a little bit, get him these midweek games, the Carabao Cup, let him find some form, hit the back of the net, and play Partey through. Move Ben White back out of center back. I know it.
yeah.
Like play Gabriel. Play like I don't know why he's trying to change up all this stuff. Like do what made it work until it didn't work, and that's my rant on Arsenal. But I think Liverpool. I think y'all finish top 4 for sure, 2 to 3, somewhere in there.
Well, I think another thing we obviously want to talk about on the pod is West Ham.
Yeah.
West Ham, I think there was a lot of speculation with the departure of Declan Rice. You know what I mean? A lot of moving pieces. And again, I threw them low on the lower side. But they look really good. I don't know what's going on. Buendia, all those players, like they just got Kudus as well from Ajax. Like they're going to be a really good team. They're an exciting team to watch. I think they're definitely the dark horse for sure this year.
Nah, that goal by Jared Bowen, that ball,
that touch.
I think Jared Bowen's he's class, man.
Can we talk about the manager though? The Everton legend, David Moyes.
Yeah,
that's what got him ticking. And then obviously selling Declan Rice for like what 115, 116, and then replacing them with 3 players of that caliber. You know what I mean? Like Kudus from Ajax, Alvarez from Ajax, and then James Ward-Prowse. We all know his quality. They did really, really, really good business.
Yeah,
really good business. And then Mikel Antonio, we already know what type of player he is.
Yep.
Like I said, they are a dark horse, and they might be. I mean, I don't know. They could finish. I think they finished top 8.
I say the Europa Conference League 7th, 8th, maybe Europa.
I agree. I mean, still early to tell. They have players. They have the quality. They have kind of the depth now. But the business they did with Declan Rice getting out there was really, really good.
Mikel Antonio, man, like the center back for Brighton, I forgot his name, but he just had him in his pocket. Like talk about just a grown ass man, right? Literally Michael Antonio, like he bodied that man around. He was shifting his body, the big touch of finish, like man,
and,
that looked good.
and that man had kids at home, bro.
Yeah, with the 401k plan as well, Benjamin. Yes.
I don't think they have 401k plans in England, but yeah, yeah.
I can say they don't.
No, West Ham looked good. I'll give them the props. Yeah. Anyone else want to add anything to that?
No, that's it. I completely agree with everything. I think we'll see James Ward-Prowse get his free kick title this year. The all-time Premier League free kick master.
Is he off? Is he far off?
I think he's 1 or 2 off, and he'll get that. There's no way he doesn't.
I mean,
he's good for 2 or 3 a season. So
it's insane.
That man's a lock from the free kick. Oh my god! Even his corners too. Like the amount of pace that man whips the ball in with that amount of movement, like. That's a cheat code. You got all the tall ass players too. Like, man.
And he's young too. I didn't realize. I feel like James Ward-Prowse was old just because I feel like he's been in the Prem forever.
He's
like 28.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
He's got
28 years old. And Edison Alvarez is 25 and Kudos is 23. They just replaced Declan Rice with a strong midfield for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
That's great business.
Here to stay.
Yeah. Paqueta as well. Again, the whole gambling thing, but he's still doing his thing. Like he's not letting all the noise get to him. He's still performing. So
yeah.
Hey, you can hit it, Zet. You can hit the Paqueta.
Nah, I can hit it.
Let's see it.
Nah, bro. It's for another time. That's off air.
Off air. Any more takes before we end this podcast?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the legend. Hey,
Coutinho.
Hey, he's over there at Villa, but hey, come home.
I don't want him back, bro.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, we don't want him, but hey, he's a legend in this shirt though. That's why I have it.
That's respects. Hey, Drew Johnson, I just gotta say, I appreciate you for hopping on Banter Boys for a little chat of your team, Everton, and then West Ham. You really added some insight to the podcast, a different type of look. So we'll definitely have you back on. You made the cut.
Hey, I appreciate that. Man. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
All right, that's love.
All right.
Yes.